Miss Kobayashi, you get to go for, I know you're early. It's no big deal. It's you and we'll go, who haven't I talked to? And Carolyn. Carolyn's going to help. So take it away, man.
All right. So you want me to read the end of the question first, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Which action should the project manager take? A project manager realizes during the third iteration of product development that the template used for the project management plan is not showing updates. Which action should the project manager take? All right. So let's see. During the third iteration of product development, the template used is not showing updates. So assign one team member to update the project plan. Can't see all of this, sorry.
It's okay. We'll just do one at a time. So if like you realize like there's a template that's not updated, not showing updates, like, oh, version 3.3 instead of 3.4 or whatever. Don't worry about the answers. Who cares? Like big deal, little deal, something in the middle. What do you think?
It's probably, I don't know if, yeah, it's probably a big deal.
Okay. So like not having like the most updated document. Okay. All right. So we want to fix, so who would go about, in your mind, don't look at the answers, who cares? Like, how would we go about getting that fixed? Like, oh, the new version of the document needs to be up there. How would you go about doing that?
I would think, I can't help but look at the answers.
I know, I can see it in your eyes. It's okay.
I'm thinking like the knowledge repository, somewhere you would need to find that template or that information.
Okay, you find it. You said you would. So you as a project manager, I got this. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna be all right. Like, is that kind of how you're feeling or what?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's go to the answers. Just go to A.
You want me to read them?
Yes, one of them. A.
Oh, A. I think it would be A. Assign one to. Well, let me see. Hold on. Assign one team member to update the project management plan to template and document any risk. Rank the need to update the template.
Hold on. Do you like A? Just so, I know you're new. I got to stop you legally.
Okay.
Do you like A, or did you either like hate it, it's okay, or love it?
It's okay. It's a possibility.
Because?
Well, actually, no, it's not, because the team members aren't going to be updating the templates.
Okay.
The documents.
And therefore, who is?
The project manager.
Okay. So we've eliminated. I just saved you from having to come back. Yay. Go to B.
Okay. Rank the need to update the template according to the business value for the upcoming iterations. I would say that's probably a strong possibility, because that seems like it would fall on the project manager's shoulders, who would update those templates and consider the business value for iterations, upcoming iterations.
Okie dokie.
C, avoid adding to team distraction by fixing the issue independently. That is probably not the best option.
Talk to me about why.
Typically, well, the project manager is not going to jump there and resolve everything. I would think you would need to work with the team.
Okay.
Is my thought. D,
like, they're not going to learn unless we let them blah, blah, blah.
Make the mistakes themselves and do the work, and self-organizing and all of that.
Okay.
D, document the issue as a new project risk and propose a solution. I don't know that it's that big of an issue yet, that it would be a risk. Iteration. Yeah, so for me, I would go with B.
Okay, go with B. Sweet. And then the other thing in D is weird. It's like document the issue as a risk. What's the difference in your mind between an issue and a risk?
An issue is a concern, something that could possibly happen. A risk is a much more higher priority.
Okay.
Something that they would need to deal with.
So risk is higher than issue. Issue's like something brewing. Risk is something higher.
Yes.
I'm on the opposite scale of that one.
All right, tell me, Hazel, what you got?
A risk has a potential of happening. There's a probability that it may happen. If it happened, now we have an issue.
Yes, ma'am. So that's the thing. Yeah, nailed it, and everybody wins. So risk is like could, may, potentiality. Tomorrow it could snow. It's a risk. It has snowed. It's an issue potentially. Like it's a problem. It's happened. There's snow on the ground, ice, all that junk. So this sentence is a little bit of gobbledygook. document the issue as a risk and propose a solution. Like it's one or the other. You either hit an iceberg or we're going to hit an iceberg, whatever. But you eliminated it regardless, so we're a winner. So you're on B. Good job, Teresa. All right. Who else was the helper? Carolyn, thoughts?
I just say I don't like this question.
I'm sorry.
It's just the way everything's worded. One, I would say, first of all, I'd say I'm leaning towards it's a hybrid, just because it's talking about iterations and also project management plan in the question.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Tech. Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have a project management plan in
That's true.
That's Agile.
Contextual. Yes, ma'am.
So I think that adds complexity to the answers, which is why I was kind of leaning towards C, Charlie.
Okay.
Because it is
why you see like C as in this situation, okie dokie.
if it is a hybrid and we have a project management plan, it's the project manager's responsibility to make sure it's updated. So if I'm using a template, it's my responsibility to update documents. So I would think that's something that the project manager could easily go in and resolve.
Just do it. And then in an agile sense, like the scrum master or project manager is trying to like make sure that obstacles, impediments, stuff like that are removed from the path. And if they're not like big, like
yeah,
there's no reason picking these rocks out of the way so that the person can steam on ahead. Because we got a bunch of brain surgeons working for us. And keep them.
And if you think as simple as an Excel document, if for some reason a formula that you have in the Excel document, somebody went in and changed something, now that formula is not working. That's not something the whole team needs to be involved in. PM could easily go in and find where that mistake is and why it's not calculating properly. Like I said, I'm simplifying what that template could be, but as an example.
Let me ask you one more question. You're doing great. Sure. I love it on C. I'm asking you a question just in generality. Like B, rank the need to update the template according to business value for the upcoming iteration. Where are they saying, like, what's the inference of like where they're saying rank it on there? Not saying it's right. I'm just saying, where are they saying technically you would be ranking this? What's the document called there? Or the thing?
Ranking the need.
Like where are
that would be
user
on
stories about
the user stories? Yeah, on the user stories.
And they're ranked on a
priority basis.
Where are they placed?
Oh, what is that? The backlog.
Yeah, product
or
backlog.
Yeah. Nice.
And so you're doing good. Product backlog is that repository, that big bucket of all the things that we could do. And it's ranked by value, meaning stuff at the top is like making the customer super duper happy, smile, all that stuff. Is this thing like does the customer care, like the template that you're using?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Not unless you're going to hand it over to them at the end. But then that makes it part of the product. So I would say no.
Right. So, I mean, this doesn't necessarily seem like a big deal and a big difficulty. Like, hey, update the version. I don't know what is there. And then like in the product backlog, these are like the way user stories are written in a certain format. What's the format, Carolyn? This is Carolyn Teaches Agile. Like, what's the format of user stories?
Format of user stories.
You got it. So if I wanted to like do any product or anything,
there
like,
you go. Teresa knows.
I know.
Do you?
I do.
Say it.
As a, I want to, so that.
As a, I want to, so that. So, and then why do we write them like that?
To simplify. It should just be really brief, one or two, three statements that just summarize what the goal is.
And it's an invitation for a conversation. I like the way that kind of like rhymes and comes back. And it's like, oh, what do you mean by this? This person values, as a user, as a doctor, I would like to blah, 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 so that I can da, 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 da. Okay, cool. How did you learn that? What did you mean? Like, like, give me some context. And through that conversation that you framed up so well, like the richness and the refinement of the idea and the need gets closer and closer and closer. Otherwise, it's just I have an idea, throw it over a fence, somebody build it, which happens too many times. So cool. So the question I ask you is like, is this updating the template? Should that be written in user story format, put on the backlog and ranked?
No, I would say no.
Okay. What do you want the answer to be?
What was that?
What do you want the answer to be? Because B says, take this thing, write it in user story format, throw it on the backlog, rank it, give it to the team, have them do it, put it in a sprint, get it done, have it approved by the customer, get it done, release it to the customer. That's what B says in more and less words. So if we don't want to do that, what should we do?
Well, now that you say it that way, I still think it's B, but
Okay.
I'm uncertain about the whole template portion for some reason. That's throwing me off.
Talk to me about what's uncertain.
Well, I guess I'm thinking of a template as a document, not as like the user story cards, you know, like on a
Agreed.
Kanban board or waterfalls or Kanban. So to me, I don't see a template in that.
Yeah. You're right. The template is some document, like a form, some document. The question I was asking initially is, in order to fix the updated version, like I'll put the new version on SharePoint or whatever y'all are using, do we require a user story to do that? Or is it just like, I'll do it. Like I'll fix it. And if it keeps happening, we got to figure out why it keeps happening.
That would
But
require.
like I can just
user
fix it.
stories.
Don't slow the team down.
Yeah, that would require a user story.
That would require a user story.
Would.
Because as a customer, I need all my people at the project management place that I'm hiring to use the appropriate documents so that they can do their job the right way or something like that. I'm trying to write a user story.
Yeah, I think I'm a little
That
unsure.
doesn't feel good. You know, that don't feel good. Like, is there any, like if B didn't exist, bloop, it doesn't exist anymore. Imagine it goes away. What would be the answer if B didn't exist?
I guess it would be C.
Does it violate your principles to say like you fix a thing as the project manager?
A little bit.
Okay. What about it violates it?
Because the team is supposed to be self-organizing and they would be working with the product owner on user stories.
Did the team develop this is a hybrid project, like agile things usually don't have a project management plan, but what does the team do? The team's role is to do what?
Well, they're creating those user stories, right?
They're executing, they're delivering on them. Like they
Okay.
maybe have a part in the play of like helping to be a voice to refine, but really the user story comes in. We're going way deep. It's okay. Like the user story comes in, the product or the team takes it and the activities related to it and executes it, finds a creative way to solve the need on the user story.
Okay.
I think I've muddled the water. It's no big deal. It's my fault. The big thing here, the answer is C. Yeah. Is that like sometimes we just have to like fix things, little stuff. Like, oh, update the document, like schedule the meeting, do the thing, like little stuff. And so I think the thing that this question's okay at is it says like, hey, if you got like little stuff, are you going to pull the team in, go through this formal process, evaluate it, blah, blah, blah? Or are you just going to like fix it so that it helps the project keep moving?
Yeah, that makes more sense the way you've worded it. Yes.
It only took me 20 minutes to get there. No big deal.
I'm
So
slow.
like,
It's my first day.
yay. Maybe I'll start with that at the end. Thank you. All right. All right. So the answer is C. But if it was like, we don't understand a core functionality, a problem, a thing we're trying to solve, that's not a you go off and fix it. That's a develop a user story, pitch it around, refine it, weight it, get it to the top, bring the people in, estimate it, move it through the engine. Like that's why we live and exist. The templates and stuff. What do they say in the Agile Manifesto? We prefer like customer or interactions over formal documentation or deep documentation. I'm messing the words up, whatever. I got performance anxiety. Like they're saying like, hey, let's work together on the requirements and the execution and junk like that. So cool.
Okay.
Okay, dokie, we can do more. We've had 2 people pass during this call. How about that?
Nice.
Oh, yay. So that's good.
Yay.
So that's cool. Sabrina and shoot, I had 3 actually. I just Chris, Sabrina, Chris, and somebody that texted me. I don't have their number on my phone yet, or the name of my phone. All right, let's keep going.